Okay. So a computer costs $800. It loses a fourth of its value every year after it is purchased. Complete the table to show the value of the computer at the listed times. So when we're filling out a table, the X's, it tells you is for time and years, but usually follow like a simple pattern, like 0, 1, 2, 3. Occasionally it does jump numbers, so pay attention to that should it occur. But for 0 years, what's the value of the computer? 800. And I would probably not put the $sign. We'll see if it matters later, but your value initially is always like at the input of 0. So that one should be like really easy. The rest, you could benefit from making an equation for. You could probably also problem solve your way through it as well. Like if it's losing a fourth of its value each year, what's a fourth of 800? So 0.25 is the equivalent decimal. 200 is a fourth of 800. Like if you split 800 into fours, 200, right? So if it's losing 200, how much is it after 1 year? 600. So you could problem solve your way through that way and then keep going. But it's easy to make mistakes, so that's why it's probably better to use an equation, like how I told you to set it up. Depending on what equation you use is up to you. Which one do you guys think is better for this situation? The really general one or the other one? Okay, and it's up to you. So what is A representing in this one? My initial amount, which is 800. What do I have to multiply by each time to get my next value? The common factor. If I'm losing a fourth of its value every year, what's going to be my common factor? Did you say 1/4? So that's the common mistake. It's not going to be 1/4. It's going to be 3/4. So you would kind of have to do this part, I guess, in your head. 1 minus what it's losing each time. Fraction wise, what remains is 3/4. Okay. So like if you want to try that in your calculator, do 800 times 3 divided by 4, which is time by 3/4. And that does give me 600. If I times it by 3/4 again, that should give me what this is right here. So 600 times 3 divided by 4 is 450. And then again, this one's just right after the other one. So I can just again take 450 times it by 3/4. And I get 337.5. And we'll check that right now. How it wants you to type it in. But also just know, like in our notes today, sometimes it jumped. Sometimes it might want you to find it for year 10. That's why it would be really helpful to know how to make the equation. So that all I have to do is plug in for my time or for my X, whatever time frame they want, put that in the calculator, and then it'll give you the right answer. It's not asking me for 10 right now. So I'm not going to put it in the calculator, but you could try it like replacing the X for the 1, 2, or 3, and it'll give you the same thing we got. And even the 0, like it would give you the same thing we have in the table. But let's see how they want us to enter it. For the one that's a decimal, since we're talking about money, I'm gonna put 2 decimal spots, so 0.50. And it marks it right that way. Let's see if I need to fix it to where it accepts dollars. Okay. Did anyone put dollar signs and get it marked wrong? Or can I just change the instructions to say, don't put dollar signs? You put dollar signs? Okay. Well, if it marks you wrong, then just let me know and I'll make it to where it marks it right, but usually if it has the units in the title, you don't need to put it again, so. Okay. Questions on this one? Questions on any others from the practice? It won't mark it wrong if you did this 0.5 or if you did 0.50, but you would need, like, you couldn't just put 338. Since we're talking about money, you should put 2 decimal spots. All right, any other questions? All right, so 80% or higher is the goal. You don't have to ask questions right now, but should you have any, let me know.